Okay, it's a week 3 inspection at 4D Honeybee. And you might notice something a little different about the hive structure. I was noticing that grass was coming through the pallets there, and then eventually it was going to interfere with the hives. This whole meadow here is grass and eventually goldenrod that gets mid-thigh or hip high. So I didn't want to have to deal with that coming up in front of the hives and bothering the entrance and such. So I grabbed a piece of plastic that was kicking around the property and put it under the hives. It meant moving them, dismantling the 8x8s and pallets and such, and then putting them back on. I did it this morning at around 6:30, and not a single bee had come out. You can see they're just starting to come out now. So I'm glad that I was able to do it without the bees coming out and being bothered. Now we're going to move on to the inspection. I'm just going to check the sugar water feed that I gave them earlier on in the week. They should still have plenty. They're doing about 2 liters a week, and I gave them 2 liters about 4 days ago, so we'll see how that's doing. And then just a quick hive inspection, make sure there's nothing going on with any swarm cells or queen cells, and just make sure the queens are still happy. I suspect that they should have about 70% of that first super drawn out, so hopefully by the end of next week I will be putting on a second super. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so it's our week 3 inspection. I'm going to start off not smoking the hive because they're very calm. It's very early in the morning. It's going to get really hot today. So I decided to come out and do things early, and hopefully they won't be too upset. I'll just check out the top feeder here. Get rid of some ants. Wow. Pretty much empty. Holy smokes. You just see how much the bees are liking the sugar water. Although what I'm not liking is this gray substance that I see in this feeder. It doesn't happen in the other feeder, on the other hive. First I thought it was mold. I don't think it's mold. I think it's like an organic residue of some kind. If anybody has some input on that, let me know. It may just be what's coming off the bees' feet, literally, as they're dipping into the water, but looks like if I want to keep feeding them, I am going to have to make it more than 2. They drank 2 liters in about 4 days. Wow, smoker's really going, so I'm going to get it out of the way. Get all the ants out of here. Hard to tell if they were in here before or if they just came in as I opened it up. But okay, well, we can see that they've combed up the lid again, which we're coming to expect. Take a look at that. That's in about 3-4 days worth of comb building. They've built it right on the top as well. Some nice honey in here. So I'm going to take this burr comb off and bring it home. It's been nice to be getting samples of the honey from this burr comb. So I think I'll smoke these guys away, or maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to leave the lid till the end and see what happens. Tons of burr comb on the top, and you can see honey glistening in it really nicely. So we'll start with the far frame here. It looks like it's got a decent amount of action on it. And so here they're just starting to draw out this corner here inside. So you can see this is the last frame in the box, so this will need a new second super very soon, because you don't want them to get full and swarm away. Haven't started much on the other side. Oh, they've just started on the other side. So I'll just put this one over here, make some room to work. Get out the way, fellas. Coming through. They're squishy, buddy. Yeah. Second and last one is drawn out quite nicely. Also keeping an eye out for the queen just to make sure we don't bother her too much. Some nice drones. I've already got some things in these cells. It just looks like nectar. So it's good. This queen is doing a really good job of organizing this hive. You can see we've still got a ways to go here before we worry about them being full, because they haven't quite drawn out 70% of this hive yet. Next frame. And these girls are really calm considering I haven't smoked them at all. You can see this frame is coming really nicely. You can smell the honey on it. They've already built honey. They've already capped the honey on the corners there. They're filling it around the top and the corners and the sides, and that's a great pattern that you look for. Take a look inside the cells. And again, mostly we see just pollen and honey in these cells so far. On this side, much of the same, really nicely drawn out. And they're just working away. No sign of the queen yet. I see those drones just sitting there eating away at that honey. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll take the burr comb off the top at the very end. What I'll do is I'll smoke them, they'll go down, and then I will take the burr comb off, and then I'll do something with the burr comb over on the lid as well. This is a really nice, very full frame. Okay, let's have a look at what they're doing here. There's a ton of capped honey. Looks like this is a brood frame, because you can see the difference in the color of the honey on the side and the honey in the middle. You can really see it on the left side here. And I do see a queen cell at the bottom, swarm cell, which I'm going to get rid of. See that cell at the bottom there? I've been having them ever since day one at this hive. I don't really know why, but we're going to get rid of that because we don't want any swarming and that kind of thing. And we'll just take a look at the other side for the queen. Again, this is all a capped brood cell. it looks like, with honey on the sides. It's a nice pattern. See some larvae and some pollen. No sign of the queen on this one yet either. Just your worker bees. Working away. Okay, so we're going to take off this swarm cell here. And the rest of it looks okay. There's a big cell here on the top right of the frame too. I'm just going to move the bees off it to have a look at it. Okay, it just does look like just a build out of capped honey. No big deal. Alright, so back we go. Should be finding the queen soon. Move over, guys. Fortunately, I found no matter how careful I am, I always squish a couple of bees. And you can actually hear when you squish them, not just because of the crunching, but that's when they buzz like your fingers on an electrical socket. Here's one that I squished last time. Alright, so expecting the queen to be on these next couple of frames here, so we'll be extra careful. Still haven't smoked this hive at all, and you can see they're still very calm, just the odd one coming up to check out what's going on. Okay, here's another really nicely capped brood with what looks like another swarm cell on the bottom there, so I'll get rid of that. See if I can spot the queen here. No, I don't see her. You can see, again, just a really nice pattern here with capped honey on the edges and on the top. And a nice full brood frame. On the other side, much of the same. Lots of brood, lots of drones on this one. Oh, sorry, I'll squish you. No queen yet that I can see. We'll get rid of these swarm cells. You can look at them. I don't know why this hive makes so many swarm cells. I don't know if they're unhappy with their queen or something, or I thought at the beginning it was just something that was left over from the that guy's trying to sting me. Left over from the nuke, but in any case, they're making them almost every week, so you got to really stay on top of them. Okay. They're starting to get upset there. A couple of them tried to sting my gloves there. So I may just, depending on how they are on this next frame, I may give them some smoke. Yeah, I'm going to give them some smoke because they're starting to get a little excitable. See, when you give them smoke, they really start buzzing, so try to give them as little as possible. Okay, again, expecting to see the queen here soon. Now let me take all this stuff off too while we're Honey's just dripping out of it. Okay, one more, and we'll get back to a frame where I can see a lot of drone comb. I'll grab that later. Oh, really heavy. Lots of drone comb on here. You can see it at the bottom, and another swarm cell, it looks like. Right there. So we'll get rid of that. Again, it's a nice brood frame with honey all over the edges. And cat brood on the inside. So this hive continues to do well. See if we can spot the queen on here. No, I don't see her anywhere. I'll get rid of these cells at the bottom here. Just don't like the look of them. This doesn't look like it's housing anything. Might just be cone. But it's gone just in case. Okay. So hopefully we'll spot the queen on this next one. I guess because this is all cat brood, she's really done her job on these, so maybe she's working her way out. I'll take this frame out here too now. Give myself a bit of more room to work. So this last frame hasn't been drawn out at all yet. So they're probably easily safe for another week, maybe two, before I need to add that second brood box. They're not quite, I'd say 70% built out yet. So this frame is just starting to be built out. And this one's pretty nicely built out. Lots of drones on this one. Lots of worker bees. Still don't see a queen. Oh. Wow. No, no queen. Okay, a couple more frames and we're done this inspection. There she is. There's the queen. And we'll look at Isabel. Looks See if we can follow her a bit and see if she's laying eggs or what she's doing. She's just working around. It kind of makes sense that she's on these frames because they're just built out enough to start laying eggs in it, where the others are all already cap brood. Let's get her back in. She's in a good position there. And check one more frame, and that's it. We'll put it all back together. Really heavy frame. Okay, there's another brood frame. Lots of drones on here. I haven't been able to spot yet our eggs. I can see small larvae, but I don't have the greatest eyes, and the glasses get fogged up, and it's hard to look for these miniature grain of rice size eggs. But you can see this is a beautiful frame, honey all about an inch off the top, capped honey, and then all around the side. And have a look at the other side. See any swarm cells on there? Again, just cap brood, honey, nectar, and not much of a swarm cell happening on this side. Okay, so we'll get them back together. And make a note of the fact that they've already gone through all their sugar water. Go away. Go away. Okay, guys, relax. We're almost done. Just going to smoke them off the top again because they're getting pretty excitable. I got to move the frames over. The smoker's still alive. Yep, just. The smoker's dying here, so. Probably have to relight the smoker for the second inspection because it's almost dead. At my experience level, I can't imagine not using gloves. Because where I run into the most contact with bees is on my fingers, right? So, I don't know how you do it out there. But I'm not ready to work without this minimum amount of equipment. get excited is when you move their frames around too. Happen to be when you squish around as well. That's probably why. They like being squished. Let's see. They're not so happy right now. Almost done, girls. Center them up now. We're done. All right. I get this burr comb off now. Take it home for little samples. Minimal squishing, I think. I hope. So the next time I do come out, I will clean up this this sugar water box because of that, whatever that gray stuff is. I don't like it. It certainly is not clean, and these bees are normally very, very clean. Get rid of some ants that got in here. They shouldn't be able to get at the water because of the lid, but still, just don't want to have them around. That's it for one hive. Still got the other one to do. Now we're going to have to relight the smoker. Okay, second hive, week 3 inspection. And just hoping to keep this quick. Took a long time on the first hive, probably longer than I wanted to. Goal for this inspection was to see how they're making out on their honey water, on their their sugar water feed. And this hive is not taking it quite as fast as the other hive, because the other hive consumed its entire 2 liters of honey water in a few days. This one still has some, but this time I'm going to smoke the hive right off the bat, because although it's very docile, you don't even see them flying yet. It's pretty early in the morning still. They will get excited once I start working them, so we'll get them down off the lid here. We'll also crack this inner lid and get some smoke in there. We'll give them a minute to calm down and then get at it. You can see the burr comb. You can see burr comb build up right through the feeder hole here, the inner cover. That's kind of neat. They really build that out fast, and I'm taking that comb home and sampling the honey that's in there, just loving it. Ooh, almost dropped it. See the burr comb there. This lid resting over here, we'll take that off near the end. Okay, we'll get them smoked off the top here. I'll get this burr comb off right away. It's honey just dripping off this thing. It's amazing. Hey, go away, it's my honey. Forgetting to bring containers to take this burr comb home with. Come on, guys. Give it up, will ya? Come on, guys. Come on. Move on. Okay, let's get going now. Doesn't look like there's much happening on these outside frames, so I'll take them out first. Just starting to build out second frame from the end there. So this one's still got a good couple of weeks, I think, before we need to think about adding that second brood box. Wow, this one's pretty heavy. This one's just full of honey. Have a look here. Just chocker block full of honey. Have a quick look for the queen here, but I'm not going to spend too much time. Again, you see a comb down here at the bottom that could be a swarm cone, but that's still got a couple of weeks before I would need to worry about it. I might just get rid of it anyway. Check out the other side, and you can see it's not quite built out yet, so still got some time on this hive before it gets really filled up. Taking a quick look for the queen, but I'm not too concerned about it. Saw her last week and she was quite happy. just smell the honey in these boxes. It's pretty amazing. Lots of honey on this one too. Seems that overall this nest doesn't have as much capped brood as the other one. So that's a good thing about having two hives going simultaneously, is you can compare them. And if needed, I could probably switch over a drome frame from the other hive to here if this one was getting too far behind. Not that I would know what too far behind is, but you can see all the capped honey on the edges here. So this one's getting ready to be laid, I guess. Let's see the queen on this one. So let's move to the next one. Okay. Now this is a very good brood frame with lots of drone comb here. See the drone cone on the outside there. A couple cells at the bottom that I don't like, so I'll get rid of them. Lots of honey in here, and we could expect to see the queen on this frame. But I don't. Again, lots of drone cone on the bottom and on the sides. Stung my glove. You can see that one just stung my glove there. So again, I'm not anywhere close to wanting to work without gloves for that very reason. Love the bees, but I don't particularly want to be stung by them. And just do a little more smoke off the top, just to move them down a bit. Here's a pretty full comb of brood with honey around the edges that they're just starting to cap now. Very nice. Lots of cells on the bottom that I'll get rid of again, just in case they're swarm cells. Lots of big drones here. And it looks like most of the cone on the bottom just looks like it's burr comb, but I'm going to take it all off just in case it's a swarm setting up there. Again, I don't think they have any reason to swarm. There's lots of room in the hive and things seem to be going well, but you just never know. At least I just never know. So. I've looked for the queen on this side. Very different colored bees. Some are quite light, some are quite dark. It makes it a little harder to spot the queen because you see something different, you kind of fixate on it. And it ends up not being a queen, just being a different colored bee. This back in. Ooh. This is hard on the back. Leaning over this much ends up being a pain in the back. I don't have the best back to begin with. Oh, just smell the honey coming off this. Beautiful thing. Whoops, sorry guys. Oh man. Squished a whole bunch of them there. Got them really riled up. Sorry about that, girls. I was just thinking that I really haven't had a huge faux pas yet as far as crunching bees, but probably getting close to being an hour in to this inspection today, and I'm getting fatigued, and probably the bees are tired of it too, so I'm going to try and focus extra hard not to make any big mistakes. The bees deserve better. It's just a little slippery on the sides because of honey, and the propolis is sticky, but it's also a bit of a lubricant, I find. A couple more. Have a quick look for the queen. Look for anything untoward and then move on. Yeah, this hive still has quite a ways to go. I'd say this hive is behind the other one because this is still the third frame from the end, and you can see it's maybe 50% drawn out. Whereas the other one, you have to get right to the ends. The ends are already 50% drawn out. Okay, we're getting excited. I just have a feeling that she's on this frame. I don't particularly know why. Lots of young bees on this frame, lots of small bees. Okay, let's put it back. Now into week 3 I haven't been stung yet, but you can see we're some protection, but they've tried. They've stung the gloves, that's for sure. And I can't say I blame them. Okay, so we'll just get it all back together and spaced out, and I won't be here for another week, so we'll let them do their work and probably replenish sugar water in about 3 or 4 days. The other hive is out. This hive still has a little bit in there. Again, they're just generally behind a little bit, but I don't think it's anything to get excited about. Space these properly, get that one last frame in. Now off we go. Okay, this one back in there, take the burr comb off and get them all set up again. Okay, come here, you. Okay, guys, relax. Almost. Come on. Alright, so that's it for this time. Thanks again for joining 4D Honeybee.